everybody. It's Jeffrey and Nancy, and we're going to give you a
Hola.
chance to get in and join us and have a good time. And Jeffrey and I were just discussing his potential move, and we're looking at houses. And
Houses, very
I'm glad
exciting.
it's you, Jeffrey, not me. I hate moving.
Well, it has to be exciting, you know what I mean?
So, what else is going on in your world?
Well, I didn't even tell you when we were talking. I completely finished the pamphlets. I completely finished
Very good.
All of them. So, for those of you who don't know, Nancy and I give classes together for Tarot. We start, our next class starts September 5th.
I'm going to put that banner up because I'm going to.
And the way Nancy and I teach is really for you to find your own voice. So I literally went through every single card in the tarot, and I wrote like 10-page pamphlets on each and every one of them. They're available on Amazon. And I'm really proud. Honestly, I'm really proud. And it taught me so much, Nancy, because what I realized is like the images, because we always use the Rider-Waite, because that's really the traditional deck that all decks are based on.
Not only that, but when you're 12 people in 12 different locations, it's nice to have the same images to look at.
Yeah. And if 12 of us have 12 different decks, then that could be the 5 of Wands. Anyway.
It was, I taught you.
So, the images don't change. It's your perspective that changes. So like in every little pamphlet, I try to ask questions. It's like, where is he going? Where is he coming from? What has he got in his hand? What do you feel about that? Why is he in this, why is it whitish and bluish in the background? And, for you to find your own voice, that's what we're about. So we give you our interpretations and traditional interpretations and understandings, but it's really about you finding your own voice and your own seeing, your own hearing, your own feeling. So that's what we encourage.
Yes, we do. And Jeffrey finished all the books, so you can. And the thing I'll say about the books is that there are cards that, as many years as I read, there were still cards I used to always have trouble with.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get the image. And I mean, I was reading from 12 till I was in my 60s. Yeah. And even now, every time I teach a class, I get a new understanding of the cards from the people I'm working with. Because everybody's experience is different. We all bring in different points of view. Well, didn't that end up being a good ad for the tarot class? It's up on my website at www.crystaldirections.com, and trust me, I sweat bullets to get that sucker to work again. And also, you can, or if you're just interested in the class, send me a text or send me an email and say to that email, crystaldirections.class@gmail.com. I'll send you all the links so you can get in. If you are a member of my channel, I will also give you, and I sent this out, I will give a passcode to anyone who I know is a member of my channel. You get 10% off. Saving money.
And furthermore, now I feel like it's one of those commercials for a blender. And furthermore,
and what's more,
at the end of the class, you can choose 2 of the pamphlets or booklets that I wrote, because you're going to be like, I kind of get this card, but there's always a card or 2 or 3 that is like, I need a little more. And then I think it's best at the end of the class, because at the end of the class you're going to be like, oh,
that's
I
all
thought I would understand that one, but I actually do. And so I think the end of the class is a better gift, a parting gift.
Okay.
Take some cookies on your way out.
Right. Okay. So we did get some questions I posted, and if you're interested in posting questions, I'm going to go see. Sandra Dell sends us all divine healing.
Blessings.
And here's a little, this was an unpaid for solicit thing. I highly recommend Nancy Jean and Jeffrey's tarot class. Yay. Thank you. I highly recommend it too. I really do, because I talk to people about what they learned in classes, and I think this is an approach I developed almost over 40 years ago of how to look at the decks. And it was, how did I learn it? Because I just learned it. There was nobody running around teaching 12-year-olds how to read tarot. But when I finally sort of condensed it and said, how do I understand these cards? I understood it was a lesson in numerology. It was a lesson in symbols and symbology. It was a lesson in the suits. And then you just got to read the cards. But if you know the numbers and you know what the suits are, that takes care of 3/4 of the deck. Then the major arcana is the Fool's Journey, which we teach. And you start with the Fool, and that's really a path of your whole life, of most people's whole lives. So.
And we love teaching it.
Yeah.
We love teaching it. And, and then after the class, we have a few weeks of practice, and we invite in former students, and they also participate. And a lot of the former students have separate Zoom meetings where they practice together. So it's not like you're going to be alone. If you want to continue to practice with people, there are
There's going to be a community.
Yeah.
There's going to be a community.
And the thing is, that's the thing about tarot. It's a living thing. Like my interpretation of this card 3 years ago is different than it is now. And it'll be different tomorrow. And it's really, maybe it's a way for us to teach you to have your mind be more fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot of times, I spoke to someone yesterday. She's an old client of mine, and she's facing some surgery. It's a day surgery, but she's really worried because the last time they did surgery on her, she had an NDE. So she's like, needless to say, going near doctors and knives and hospitals are not her favorite thing, just because she doesn't want to go through that again. But she called me up, and you've had the 8 of Wands up?
Yeah.
And she said, can you pull one card on my surgery? 8 of Wands, it's going to go so fast. It's not, none of that stuff that stalled you out is going to hit this time. She's
nowhere to land.
She's on her way. But when you get to be of a certain age, those things get troublesome. Okay. Readings. Magical Mermaid sent this 8 hours ago, and she said, yay, that we were going to be on. And I don't know where Magical Mermaid 8 lives, but she wrote yay, and it said, translate this into English. And on the thing that I got. So I don't know.
She lives at the bottom of the sea.
Well, she does. Apparently they couldn't read the bubbles. I thought that was kind of funny. Okay. This is a two-parter. Catherine T. Are the eclipse energies accelerating life paths, etc.? I feel like I'm hurtling forward in time. And it's all accelerating. My battery operated clock is now almost 4 minutes fast instead of losing time. It's done this in the last 2 years. Every time time shifted significantly. Let's see if Catherine T's in the middle. I think I
read on the first one. I read in the first one is that the time shifting. And I basically got look at this. I got, the Queen of Timing, and this one is like always very prepared. She's like a black cat, and she's practical and she's prepared. So she knows when to act, and I think she acted, right? But this is like a universal energy, like, And then the King of Swords with clarity, and with this energy of, I'm going to cut out all this unnecessary that doesn't make sense. And toward fulfillment.
What?
Toward fulfillment. So that's very interesting. All in the air. You know what I mean? Because, this is in the air, but, wands in a way are in the air because they're fire. And fire and air, get along really well.
Okay. What I got was the two of Wands. And I think it's because people are being drawn together. And it makes us feel very unbalanced at times. And we're not sure. She's not sure about the moving forward, but what I see is it's speeding things up, but it's also slowing things down so we can find the answers we need. And at the end of all this is the 10 of Cups, which is great. So Yeah, it's all happening, but it's giving you, believe it or not, time moving too quickly is also giving you time to reconsider and figure out what you really want to do and go ahead and do.
Hmm.
Okay, what changes will happen when the eclipse energy will bring to her finances and her marriage? Okay, when the eclipse season over, is it going to bring the changes to Niver's marriage? Okay, what I see is you're dealing with a lot of paperwork and a lot of finagling with the government. I know this. I know more about this than I should, but anyway. So she's having to deal with the governmental energy. Yes, they've been not moving forward with things you wanted answers to. But how's it going to happen? You're in the process right now of finding the answers, and you will find the answers. This card will turn for you shortly, and you will find the answers because I see you happy in your resolution in your love situation and a resolution in your financial situations. Tens mean endings. So whatever endings you're looking for in these are coming.
Initially I had this like looking outward. Oh, like
Her
maybe it's,
husband's
yeah,
overseas. Her
yeah.
husband's overseas.
But then like the immediate, it's all
Mm-hmm.
going to happen really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be really practical and stable and calm and at home and chill. And you know, it's yellow. This is a really good card to end on. Stable, solid, connected, practical, celebratory, but quiet. Nice.
And this lovely lady is true. She's student number one. Oh, that's not her. Wait a minute. Oops. Where to go? She's student number one. Marianne's the reason I went over to find out. She said your website's not
Hi,
working.
Marianne.
And she was right. My website wasn't working, but it all functions now. So you go over and sign up and get all the scoops. And as soon as you're in there, Marianne's already in the list. She's number one on the spreadsheet of students coming in. Just do what you can do, but the faster you guys sign up, the faster we know where we're going. And let's see.
I'm ready for questions.
Our healing prayers. Oh, our healing prayers to my friend Nancy for her day surgery. Everybody send friends thoughts towards Sandra Dell's friend who's having surgery today. Think about her when you light your candles or whatever you do. And I'm going to do a quick one card pull on how the surgery is going to go for her.
Okay.
She's working with the right people. Got the lovers.
Oh, beautiful harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's another person with a fast clock. Do you want to read on that one, Jeffrey, or not?
Well, you know, it's even before, and I was watching some of the video last night. It's like for me, it's like whether time is actually going faster or it isn't. We're all experiencing it as going faster. So you're not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I want to tell you. You're not
Mm-hmm.
not crazy.
It's not
And
just elder
I seem
brain.
to lose time as well, and it's just part of like I don't know the world we're in. It's almost like you're on one of those. It's like an escalator, but it's flat, and then it's sort of doing this, and like that's just the reality of where we are at. So why?
Okay.
Wow. farmer who plants the seeds, and he's confident in what in the seeds that he's planted will grow, right? But then I have the Three of Swords, and I think it's this opportunity followed by the Ace of Cups, which is it's this opportunity to go back and see where the weeds are, see where the weeds are, and to have the opportunity to pull them out with clarity. And I think the weeds are internal. I think we're going back and forth, so that it's like, oh, I could pick up that resentment again, but there's not really that much time. I better fix that sort of energy, so that a new healing, intuitive, kinder, more emotionally fulfilling energy can come through. So that's how do you like that?
Well, I think that's great. And at the risk of this sounding like a complete infomercial, Marianne has signed up for the class. They're once a week. They'll be on Saturday from 2:30 to 5-ish, which means we go till we need to finish. It's on Zoom, and I record all the classes. And now what I do is I turn them into little YouTube shows, and I send them the YouTube show in case you missed the class or you just need to go back and look again. But and everybody participates. You can see everybody's face, except one lady who never put her face on. She kept saying she couldn't make it work, and later she admitted to me she didn't want her face on the screen. But whatever floats your boat. You want to be there but not be there, that's fine.
But the more you're there, the more you're going to learn. The more questions you ask, the more you're going to learn. The more you're involved in the class, the more you're going to learn. And we completely and utterly encourage that, because the more questions you ask, the more answers are out there for all of us.
Right. And it reminds us, I mean, I'll tell you, the only way you can learn to read tarot is to read tarot.
Absolutely.
You know, and I was fortunate enough to have some very curious friends who got in with me, and we'd spend hours. Of course, between marriages, it was always a draw. I tell you what, if you want to go to a singles group and have everybody love you, read cards. They just flock around. I remember one time I was reading, and he was the nicest man, and he really looked out of place at this singles bar thing. And it was an after work thing, and it was only going to be for like an hour and a half, and then everybody had to go home and do dinner and stuff or whatever else they did. And I read his cards, and his wife had died suddenly, and this man was completely adrift. And he and I had a long talk about what he could do, because he had tried going to his church, and immediately all the people were trying to match him off to the local widows and stuff. And anyway, and he said, but I'm just not sure. So he and I went over what things really interested him. What hobbies did he have, or what did he always wanted to know about? And he didn't realize, but at one of the local museums, there was like an art thing where they would walk you through the galleries. You could sign up, and it was free. If you signed up, it was the Dallas Art Museum, and they would explain a certain period of painting. And he said, yeah, I just kind of want to learn about that. But I said, go down there. It's free. Just go try it. And he showed up a couple months later at the happy hour again, because I'm a lame shit. I wasn't out taking my own advice and going to a much better place than a bar to meet people. And he said he was having such a lovely time, and it was so nice to meet people who didn't relate him to his dead wife, to go in and kind of have a fresh, and then be able to go back and be the other thing. And he said, and I found a couple of other groups that I've been going to see. And he said, you're right, they're fascinating. And so, but I live in a big city where there's lots of that stuff. I had a friend whose father was widowed, and he was in a small town outside of Houston in the rice growing country. And trust me, there's no place more isolated than the rice growing flats in Texas. So she got tired of listening to him whine about things. So she just went down, took him into her mother's old Sunday school, and said, pick one. I don't want to hear about it. You got to pick one. And he did. He married her. And then last I heard, they were still happily married.
There you
So
go.
whatever floats your boat. Okay. Another question. How did we get started in tarot?
You tell yours. I don't even. Mine is so unclear.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Jeffrey, I was not old enough to smoke or drink or anything when I started. I was 12 and I was at a slumber party. And being a boomer, and remember, that's when TVs went off and they're like a little thing would come on the screen at 11 o'clock at night. There was no TV. So, and radio wasn't all that fascinating because this was in 1961. I guess that's when I was 12. And um, they had card games, they had board games. God knows I never want to see another Monopoly board for the rest of my life. Found it incredibly boring. So you'd be sitting there with your friends, and when you have a slumber party, nobody wants to go to sleep. Everybody wants to try and see how much we can stay up. And I was at this kid's house, and they had a Ouija board and they had tarot cards. We didn't do the Ouija board because we didn't understand how to use it, because there weren't 100 TV shows showing you why you shouldn't use a Ouija board to make sure you used it. So I picked up the cards, and there was a little book with it. There's a little white book with every deck you buy. Mm-hmm. And it was a Rider-Waite deck. Mm-hmm. And we just started doing yes/no questions and giggling about it, and looking at the images and playing with it. And what we found out was when I laid the cards, I got answers that made sense to the people that are asking the questions. For everybody else, it made no sense. They couldn't link the stories. They couldn't link to the energy of the cards. Mm-hmm. And so I got to be known as the kid you could invite to the slumber party, and she could read your cards. And it really wasn't so much the friends my age that recognized how right the answers were. It was always being in a boomer family. For those of you, I think most of you understand boomer families, but we had a family of 5, and we were one of the smaller families on our block. The Svetiches had 11 kids. They lived on the other side of the block. I mean, yeah. So everybody always had older brothers and sisters, because I was the middle one in my family. There was all the older brothers and sisters, and it was always their older sisters who'd come up and ask me about, oh, what's Tommy? Does Tommy really love me? And all that, that's when you get real sick of those does he really love me questions. But I remember reading this one girl's cards, and I said, he's out. I said, who's his blonde friend that he's with? Now, her sister had dark hair. She was Italian. She said, he's not supposed to be out with any blonde. And I said, well, maybe it's a cousin or a friend or something. Get me out of this one. It's when you start learning to dodge when you're reading. Anyway, the next time I saw her sister when I was over playing at her house, she said, that you were right. That rat was out dating behind my back. And I was like, that's when you learn about reading cards. Your story, Jeffrey.
I don't know when I really started reading. I mean, I had people read for me a little bit when I was like maybe 16, 18, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And I was always like, oh, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. And I've always really kind of been intuitive, and I really like colors and art and stuff like that. And it's such a cool thing. And I had friends who read, and I don't know, I guess I started reading around 30-ish. Around 30. Okay. And, but it really, really, really took off. And I really learned a lot in the past, really since I dove into YouTube. That's the truth. Because I saw these other readers, and it was I think it was just before COVID. Yeah. Yeah. 2019, right?
Right.
And I was doing it, and
when everybody was scared to death because of the orange monster.
Yeah, and I also I felt like I could do this, and it felt right. It just felt right, and it felt like I was giving service, and but I know I learned more in the past 4 or 5 years because I read so much more regularly. Before, I just sort of did it, something I did sometimes. Mm-hmm. Once a month I go to the park to do this and this thing, play shuffleboard. Mm-hmm. So they.
We'll let you have that excuse, Jeff.
I guess I see things in a, sort of interesting way. And I'm an artist. I know a lot about the symbols. I know a lot about the numbers, and I love to share the information. And
well, you designed a whole shirt line, like T-shirts and things on.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So years ago, I went to fashion school, and I used to make handmade T-shirts, and I dyed them myself. And it was all mystical and spiritual symbols. It was sacred geometry. It was alchemy, astrology, microcosm, macrocosm, palmistry. I mean, I really went there. Greek gods, uh, Maya gods. I had 180 images.
All the good guys.
Why? That's why I wrote 78 books, Nancy. It's like, if you're going to do it, do it.
Right. And your mom read regular playing cards. Yeah, one of the best readers I have known in my adult life was a woman who worked with me at American Airlines, and we used to trade readings, and we'd go off in a little conference room, and we'd book it for lunch meetings for our bosses, but it was for us. And we'd go over there, and she'd read regular playing cards. I've never understood. That's called cartomancy, when someone reads regular playing cards. Mm-hmm. I've never understood how to do cartomancy. I've read up on it. That's not the way that that I can relate. And the other thing is, like, my mom she didn't like reading families cards. I can't read my kids. Your mom went wrong. I can't read my kids. They think it's hysterical. People say, "Oh, what's it like to have a mom who does that?" And they go, "We don't care, because she can't read our cards." So, hello, Rossi.
Hi, Rossi.
Rossi, I still don't have an email or an address, a mailing address for me to send you the book. Rossi is one of the brave people who's going to be part of my book club. And we had a whole show on it, and I gave away their 4 books in the series. This is going to sound like the world's big. This is 27 minutes of infomercial on Nancy.
Whatever.
Okay. The whole series list is called The Accidental Medium. And it's about a woman in our contemporary times that becomes an accidental medium. If your handle on YouTube is Silverwood, I need your mailing address too. The next book is The Gin Palace. And that's going to Catherine T, because she won that in the drawing that I ran. And then the next book is Crossbones. And Crossbones is actually named after a cemetery in London. And that's a fascinating book. It's the same woman. It's Tans. And how her mediumship grows. She's kind of a reluctant medium. And then the last book is The Hidden Dead, and that's where she goes to Iceland and finds out about how their spirits present themselves. They call them the Hidden Dead in Iceland.
I was just watching a thing last night about Göbekli Tepe again.
Mm-hmm.
And they found, where the ancestors are buried in the house, right in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's very common.
That's true. And
that was so common all over the world.
In the oldest structures in England, they're under the hearth.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's worldwide.
I'm making dog food, Jeffrey. You're reading on my clock as if you read my journal. Okay, you're reading about what her clock set was saying to her. So Kimberly liked your reading.
Oh, thank you.
I know we're interesting, but we're not nearly as interesting if we don't have questions. And you don't want us.
I know we want questions. Give us a question.
Or I'm going to right after this, and I'm leaving actually leaving 5 minutes early, because I have a man who comes to me once a year. Here's another infomercial, and he has a birthday reading, and today is his birthday. And I've been guiding him through some real big business changes. And he got me 2 weeks ago and said, "We're going to read on my birthday." And this happened to be the only time he had 2:00 my time to read. But anyway, and for me, that's fascinating to read for people over time. because I can see how things map out and what works and what doesn't. What are we going to talk about, Jeffrey?
I don't know.
You and I
Let's talk
never
about-
we're never at a loss to talk, but I don't know.
I know. So, I don't know. We can give a mini lesson on one of the suits.
Okay. She's going to have she's waiting for messages for next month. I think there are a lot of people that are holding their breath till after the lunar eclipse. And I didn't, because Jeffrey's not an astronomer. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, what do you want to, do a lesson on the suits? Fine. I'm going to put it on my desk. I'll lead you. You lead me where we're going with this.
Well, let's answer the question.
Oh, she wants a message for the next month. Okay.
Okay, this is what I get. You're going to be made an offer, but you're not going to take it because you're getting information from a higher plane saying that this doesn't fit into the way I want to have things organized, and this is my final goal, and I will reach it.
Mm-hmm.
This is my final goal, and I will reach it. To be emotionally satisfied. This feels like, almost an emotional manipulation in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to remain strong because this is as above, so below. So it's like you're going to be able to get the information from a higher source saying this is the way it's going to be established toward my fulfillment. That's what I get. How's that?
Rosie, this is amazing. I have never had this happen before. I did a 5-card lay. You have nothing but people. You have one younger person whose heart's in the right place, who's sending you the right messages. But then you have the King of Swords reversed, the Page of Swords reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Swords reversed. If Jeffrey said that month's not going to move forward easily, you have way too many people in your life telling you what to do. That's when I laid this out. I told you, I've been reading since I was 12. I'm 77 now. You do the math. That's 65 years. I have never laid a 5-card question and had to be nothing but people. And when I see a lot of people in someone's readings, Rossi, it says she has a large family. You're no kidding. You have a large family that's in your face. They're telling you what to do. Let me see if I'm going to lay 5 cards on how does she get around a family dilemma. Or there's going to be a lot of activity within your family in the next month. Just a lot of, due to all sorts of circumstances. Okay. How should you get around the family dilemma? And then we'll go to the next question. Okay. You should trust the Queen of Swords. That's the widowed woman, the older woman, kind of the wise person. This has something to do with moving or not moving. You are not going to move in the next month. This one, you also had a lot of people, but your Queen of Wands is right side up, and she's the wise, intelligent woman. Actually, I think that's you. I think that's you in the middle, Rossi. You know what you need to do. You haven't found the right place to go, and for some reason, you felt like someone's been telling you tales. So the way around it is to go to the good people in your family and avoid the sharp-tongued ones, but look for the ones who have opinions that can help you. Okay. Marianne wants to know messages for the next month. Rossi liked the reading, Jeffrey. She thought they're great. Oh, let's see, Marianne. Okay. I got a feeling September is going to be kind of a stall out month, or from now to mid-September. You're going to start some things. They're just going to have trouble getting them in the right place, but you're going to be going inside yourself to see what you really want to do. And you've made up your mind about a decision, something you've held off doing. Maybe that's taking the class, who knows? If you have a child, one of your kids has been kind of a problem, or a younger person that you're close to, and you're trying to protect yourself and your own things at home. So come take our class, fire up the hermit, and you're going to be making some decisions you've put off, Marianne. What'd you get, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I got you're very solid and stable, and everything's kind of like chill and good and practical. And you're sitting in the gratitude. You're sitting, it's like, well, things are all right. Things are all right. I feel good. I feel safe. I feel comfortable. But there's this element I kept on feeling and hearing: patience, 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 patience. I kept on hearing that. And you've planted seeds in the right places, the things that you want to help grow. And maybe, you might have planted them a year or two ago or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you still like, it's like, just let it be. Just sit and relax and let it be. And if, something's meant to be done, you'll know what to do. But there's not a lot of movement in these cards for me. It's like, now is the time to just sit and like contemplate and be relaxed. And, because this they call the wish card. But for me, it's also this card of like, it's comfort. He's safe. He's got enough. He's grateful. Like, that's the energy, Be in that and see what grows out of that. If you sit back and watch the garden from that place, it's like, oh, I never knew that thing flowered. A little bit of that. That's what I get.
Good.
Calm.
Okay. Here's another person who wants the rest of August. And this person I know, and this person has a good coming towards her. I finally got all the pieces together, thank God. Well, you got some great cards, girl.
Yeah, I got some good cards too.
Not that the other people didn't have great cards. You just had sort of stuck cards, and I'd rather not be stuck, but okay. Go, Jeffrey.
Well, I got that you're really loved and supported. You're really loved and supported, and you're really seen. That's what I really like. There's a sense of leadership, or not so much leadership, but you're the center of it. That's what I'm feeling. And then you have choices to make, but choose really wisely. Choose really wisely. Don't get lost in choose really, like, this is the vision. This is where I really want to go. Get really focused, really laser beam sort of focus on one thing, and then it comes to its balance. To its balance, and it comes to its place, to its rightful place. That's what I get.
Okay. What I got is, I got the same you did. You're in a lovely feeling, warm at home. You've gotten yourself out of a situation where you felt imprisoned by it. Money is riding towards you.
Oh, good for you.
Requires some planning. And this card writes that upside down. Money's coming into you, but it's going to be your choice. You're going to have some choices to make here. So think them through carefully so that you can get to the right decision. And I think you will, because you've cut yourself off from the limitations, the things that were limiting you about thinking about going forward. It's the Eight of Swords upside down.
Yeah, and I had the Justice at the end.
I know.
So you will have clear and direct and balanced results.
Will my son be okay after his business has been audited by the state? Okay. Well, he'll be okay. But what you're saying is, will the audit go well for him, I think. They're going to find some stuff. But it's not going to do anything that's going to imprison him. They're going to make him have to clarify how some information is being presented. And it may be the people who worked with him that didn't understand. If he had a woman bookkeeper, she didn't kind of know what she was doing. He's going to end up okay. He's going to end up with the Nine of Pentacles in the garden, but he's going to have to become the magician and learn. He's going to have to take a firmer hold of his own company and his company's finances. He trusted somebody too much.
Yeah, I started with the Nine of Pentacles, and that was him. And then I have the King of Swords, who could be like a judge saying slash.
Yeah, auditors are like that. Yeah.
Law, right? And then I get him going from turbulence into smooth. So there might be part of it that he has to leave behind. Like it just doesn't work, you know? And then I get him as being the leader and in charge and victorious, and this is really, it's a 6, it's harmony. It's like King David on the horse. He's supported, so that's good. But interesting little path.
That we both got. Yeah, he's learning a lot.
Yeah.
Yesterday I lost my beloved little kitty Lily. Is she okay on the other side? I actually pulled out my kitten tarot deck to read about little Lily. I'm sorry, B, that Lily went away. But if I'd much rather have them go away than stay and suffer. That makes me nuts. And I've seen Lily. When I've worked with B on things. Oh, you're going to love these. Okay. Yeah, it was her time to go. Knight of Swords, time to move on. She'd done what she could do in this world. When she first transitioned, she felt a little out of place, a little bit different. But now she's in the Ace of Cups. And she's in the Chariot. She's in the driver's seat. I don't know if she had some mobility issues or some things, but anyway, she's running around like a little bitty kitten. What'd you get, Jeffrey?
I kept on smelling. I was smelling lilies, actually. So I was like, I don't think I need to say anything more.
Okay.
It was like I felt like I was smelling lilies. It was lovely. It felt like a lovely walk in the garden. So that's my message. It's a lovely walk in the garden. Yeah. That's very, very rare for me, actually.
Okay, Rossi, the thing is, you can send your address to crystaldirections.classes@gmail.com, because it's a new email and it doesn't hardly have anything in it. And I find things in there so much easier. And this is how we all feel. Everybody with a cat or a dog, our heartfelt healing for you and Lily. Really mean that. B runs one of the groups. Well, B's part of one of the groups that grew out of my grow class.
Didn't we have another question?
Huh?
I retired August 1st of last year and much happier. Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, then you'll have time to take the tarot class and do well. We got condolences for B. And people who have family members named B.
I'll find your house, don't worry. All right. Okay, let's talk about one of the suits.
Okay.
Want to pick a suit?
You pick it.
Pentacles. I mean, it's just right in front of me. So, what are pentacles?
Okay.
So, here's some examples. Da-da-da. So, pentacles symbolize the earth plane.
Mm-hmm.
So, pentacles symbolize anything on the earth plane, things that can grow, food, money, finances, health, your job,
Rossi, I got your email.
time.
Okay.
Pentacles are the most real out of the suits, the most real because of the physical world.
They're part of this world.
Yeah, they're part of this world, and they symbolize winter,
Mm-hmm.
as well as all the earth signs. So Capricorn, Taurus,
Scorpio.
not Scorpio.
Oh, the four. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo?
Capricorn, yes, Virgo.
Okay.
So it symbolizes, practical action, an actual thing, a house, a job, a real opportunity in the real world. Not maybe I'll call you. It's like, here you go. Here's the number. Here's the keys to the car. That kind of thing. So pentacles are really quite the rich suit. So understanding just where, like, let's say you have a reading of say 5 or 6 cards or whatever it is, and say 4 are pentacles and 2 are swords. It's like, okay, this is about how you think about your physical body. What messages are you getting about your health, about your time, about your money, about your home, etc., etc. If it were to mix with water, it would be more of an emotional reading. So the water would be the cups. If it would mix with wands are the energy of fire. Wands are the energy of action, of creation, of like that thing inside of you that makes you want to get out of bed. That thing that your passion, your fertility, your energy, that kind of stuff, in a good way. The things that are interesting. Oh, I really want to bake this cake. That would be the fire inside of you. You know what I mean? So, understanding the elements and then afterwards understanding the numbers is really key to tarot. It's really key.
Yeah.
So, should we talk about another suit?
Yeah.
Or number?
Or talk about the numbers through the suit of pentacles, and I'm getting all my pentacle cards out.
Okay.
In case you think I'm ignoring Jeffrey completely, I just can't sort cards and watch the screen at the same time. And we got 10 minutes left, Jeffrey.
Okay.
So, Ace of Pentacles, 1.
Beautiful.
The number 1.
Exactly. Ace of Pentacles is really powerful. So, aces are beginnings, newness. It's birth, basically. Unity. and unity.
Mm-hmm.
The Ace of Pentacles in particular is really quite the card, if I could find mine.
I found mine.
All right. The Ace of Pentacles is, it's like a vortex. It's basically a vortex. It's like there's an opportunity that falls in front of you. Somebody calls you and say, I got a job for you. Someone says, I'm going to give you the job. The house is for sale. The house is not for sale, whatever. It's an opportunity in the real world, like a beginning, a new job, an offer. It's a wonderful card. It's a wonderful card. And in the traditional deck, which I have in front of me, which of course, when you're looking for one card, you can't find it.
That's right.
It's very, very clear. It's a very clear road, because the road, the Fool's Journey, is sort of a road or a way. And it's present in all cards, but you can't see it in most cards. However, in the Ace of Pentacles, it's clear as clear can be. There are no obstacles. It's a yellow brick road. It's like, it's laid out in front of you.
This card implies it's there. You're going through a broad garden, and the path is clear.
There's one only card I can't find.
Talk about twos.
Yes. Well, twos are about choices, and twos are about balance.
And
twos are about
that little guy in some decks. He's standing on the deck of a ship trying to keep everything balanced.
Right. So he's trying to find his legs. He's trying to find a new way to be after his journey, after his. He's trying to find a new balance. He's trying to find, how am I going to make this work in the physical world? Can I incorporate this new thing and balance the two of them together? How am I going to pay for school and rent? It could be a very practical thing. But the thing is, he always somehow manages. Because I guess he realizes after time that he gets a little less dizzy. And he figures out, how to balance it, what to put on the top shelf and what to put on the bottom.
Okay. So the Three of Pentacles. And in this, sometimes I call it the dark card, because in the Rider-Waite image, it's a guy standing in a darkened church archway with you can tell, well, can't really see it in this, but there's a tradesman and there's a person from the church. And then there's the guy who's making it work. He was considered like the mason of the deal.
Yeah, it's the priest, the architect, and the Freemason.
And they're all standing. And it was, a lot of readers read that as dark money, dark intentions. I never really saw it that way, because I have this light card where he's standing in the middle of the table. But there's definitely someone who has the answer, or who's working towards the answer. But because it's the number 3, 3 is working with people collegially, communicating with groups, communicating with people. So that's what that's about.
Yeah, I feel like it's a plan that isn't quite ready to see the light of day.
Right.
It's like they're planning, and it's like they want to take that satin thing off, and it's like, ta-da! Here's the building. It's a little bit like that, They're preparing behind the scenes. Or sometimes I read it as sometimes like a subconscious thing. But there is definitely something that's not 100% clear yet in that card. It's sort of interesting.
No, they're planning. It's not finished.
Right.
3 is not. 3 is groups getting together to finally communicate about maybe what you were arguing inside yourself in the 2.
Right.
Come together in the 3.
Because now we move on to the 4, and the 4 is really the material plane. All the 4s in the material plane. So they're very solid. They're very practical. They barely move. The 4.
Yeah.
They all of the 4s don't really move. They claimed their space. They're in their space. They're kind of either solidifying it or trying to figure it out, or that's the energy of the 4. And so the traditional 4 is called the miser, and he's holding on to his money. But there's something really practical. It's like, well, this is how much money I have a month, and this is how much I have to spend. There's nothing really wrong with him.
It's the base you build from.
Right.
Fours are. We got to hurry up, Jeffrey, because I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. Now the fives. Fives are all about change.
Fives are. This is usually the couple outside the church that are walking through the snow. My deck, it's different. When I view my deck, it's feeling like you're on the outside. And fives always mean chaos or change.
Right. And the other, five can be help is right around the corner. Help is right around the corner. All you need to do is look right around the corner. Look in front of you. And then we have the six. And the six is interesting as it's three characters. And people always get where, which one am I? You're all three, actually. You're all three. When you have it, you give it, and when you need it, you ask for it, and it's this perfect balance and flow and harmony of having and receiving and giving and receiving. That's what the six is about.
And sevens are I've got the guy standing by the crop. He looks like it's coming in, but it's not there yet. Sixes are hearth and home. Sevens are a more spiritual number or more analytical number too, because he's analyzing, is this going to work? Is what I'm doing here going to work? Going to go with 8.
Yes, and then we have the 8. The eight is the craftsman. He's working on his pentacles. Whistle while you work. He's in his physical body. He has abundance. He has awareness. He is very, very into what he's doing. He's almost in a trance doing it. And he loves what he does. And he really is into the detail of it. He's into the nitty gritty. And that's where he gets his real answers. It's like a chef who goes, needs a little more anise. It's like a little bit like that. So he's a master.
Yeah, 8s are power and money. When you get into your 8 personal year, that's your power money year. And this guy knows what he's doing, and he can just move across powerfully doing it. Got 2 more, Jeffrey, and then we're out of here. 9. That's the queen in the garden. But she's not with a lot. She's not with other people. In your card, she's with a parrot. In my card, she don't even have a parrot. They're just sitting on their own. But it means things are about to come to an end or thinking about coming to an end because it's a 9. It's the card that's in numerology is the finish card. We have a 10 in tarot that says it's done, done, done.
Right. The 9 it's attainment. She's attained her wealth. She has her beauty. She has her falcon. She has her trees. She's very happy. She worked really hard to get here. She's happy and she's enjoying it. She is enjoying it. And she's generous, but she's sweet. There's a discretion to her. There's something, she's a real lady.
Right. Standing on its own, the 9 of coins means that kind of happiness in the garden. If I get dark cards around the 9 of coins, I always ask people what's wrong with your home. And I'll find out that they have some problem that they're trying to work out to make their place safe.
And next, the very, very, very rich 10 of coins. So, the 10 of pentacles is really a rich card. It could mean retirement. It could mean like the completion of your life and seeing all the things that you've helped grow. Family and maybe a home and maybe community. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. Beautiful. Very, very rich. Lots of symbolism. The family business could mean dynasty. It's what you left. It's what you left. It's
speaking of leaving, Jeffrey, we have to leave.
Blessings.
Bye. Thank you to everyone who came by. Didn't mean to make this into an infomercial, but y'all have to ask questions or you get the infomercial. That ought to motivate you. Bye.